Hello everyone and welcome to episode 13 of my World of Warcraft Let's Play. Today I did something a little bit embarrassing at the start of this episode where I went about 20 to 30 minutes of recording without having recorded any audio actually. I had it turned off on accident, so I just have a bunch of silent footage here and I'm just talking here, going over kind of what happened in this 30 minutes until we catch up to the point where I realized I was not recording audio. So this is a little embarrassing, but not too big of an issue in my opinion, and it's also the first time I've done something like this in any of my YouTube videos actually, so it's kind of like a little bit of a fun experience where we are seeing this unfold right now. But last episode, we had finished the Deadmines. It was a two-part episode, episodes 11 and 12, and we had finished everything to do with the Deadmines. We have defeated Edwin Van Cleef, and we completed a bunch of quests, and we just came here in Westfall, and we are starting off the episode with just doing a little bit of exploration and questing in Westfall. So basically, the only thing I did at the start here was working on my People's Militia quest, where I just killed a ton of Defias Brotherhood bandits around here. I walked around the hills a little bit, and then I came across a house that I wanted to show off that's actually an apple orchard, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what this place is, if it's for a quest or if it's an Easter egg or something, but it's a little piece of the road that I just kind of wanted to showcase to everyone. I also showed off this fisherman here on the docks, and I came over to the Lighthouse here where I talked a little bit about the Lighthouse and Captain Grayson, who is here on the docks, or like right off the docks here, and I just picked up all the quests from him. I went and fought Murlocs, and here we are to where I noticed I was not recording audio. So I just noticed that 25 minutes into recording this, I did not have my audio activated, which is very, very unfortunate. So, oh no, I guess I will go ahead and cut down the little bit of video that I had there into a quick video, and I'll probably talk over it a little bit, but you've already heard that talking over, so hello, hi, how are you? So I guess I'll just showcase the highlights there, but that is unfortunate. I talked about a lot of stuff, but I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that again while we are here in this part of the video. And let's go ahead and just clear some of these Murlocs here, and I will continue with this quest. So these Murlocs here are very tough and very difficult to defeat, and I noticed that sometimes the oracles resist my frostbolt, so I'm going to have to be really careful with using the frostbolt, and I'm definitely going to want to try to keep my health up a little bit. We see old Murkai over there, so let's try to sneak over here so we can get that kill real quick. Gonna go ahead and frostbolt multiple times, and then hopefully frost nova, and then run away a little bit. But I was just talking about, I think I might upgrade my fireball a little bit so that I can always resisting. A little concerning here. So far we're doing okay. Go ahead and frostball a little bit. But I want to be able to use my fireball ability, so I'm going to go ahead and spend some gold to upgrade that a little bit. And we killed old Merc guy, so let's go ahead and get the scale, and then let's continue with the rest of these quests here. So I just talked about a ton of stuff in the video, so I'll go ahead and just talk about it again, and I guess I'll structure it a little bit better than how I did back then, because I kind of understand what I was talking about now. So I spent some time talking about the Burning Crusade Classic, because for people who are kind of watching this right now and like see when it's uploaded, when I recorded this, it's actually during the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch, so the Burning Crusade just ended and we transitioned over to the Wrath of the Lich King. And with that, we had the original Burning Crusade servers that existed, and it got transferred over to Wrath of the Lich King. Unlike when vanilla World of Warcraft existed and the Burning Crusade came out, what happened was that there was all the vanilla servers and then the Burning Crusade release, and people could choose to either stay in vanilla servers, transfer over to Burning Crusade servers, or do both, which is a little scammy and kind of costs a little bit of money for them to do, a lot of money actually. But they could choose to stay on both vanilla and also transfer to Burning Crusade with their same character, and it would just duplicate their character. But with the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch that came out, that is not true. So everyone that was on the Burning Crusade servers were just automatically transferred over to Wrath of the Lich King servers. So people didn't have the option to stay in the Burning Crusade if they wanted. So people that really enjoy the Burning Crusade kind of missed out on the opportunity to stay in that content era, whereas people that play vanilla and really enjoy vanilla did have the option to go ahead and continue playing in that content area, which is unfortunate for the people that are like that and have those interests and wanted that. However, that is a very small amount of people compared to the amount of people that wanted the original vanilla to stay and to have people on servers with them, on like legal servers, I guess you could say, to play through the original vanilla content of this game. But that doesn't exist for Burning Crusade. It was all transferred over to Wrath Lich King. And I'm okay with that because Wrath Lich King is my favorite content area, and I probably wasn't going to keep any characters really on the Burning Crusade anyways. However, I did want to play through the Burning Crusade because I'm doing a Let's Play through Vanilla, and then I wanted to do a Let's Play through the Burning Crusade and then do a bunch of Let's Plays in Wrath Lich King to cover the rest of the content of the first 2 expansions and the original game, which I cannot do if there are no Burning Crusade servers, so I am reliant on them eventually adding Burning Crusade servers back, which I believe is the plan, that they have plans to bring the Seasons of Mastery like idea to the Burning Crusade. So Seasons of Mastery in Vanilla is kind of like a yearly like seasonal like content cycle for Vanilla World of Warcraft, where people can create characters on fresh servers, progress through all the content with people at the same time, and it'll be eventual releases of content. So like every 2 months they'll release like the new raid and phase and like stuff like that, and people can push through it and enjoy all that stuff. And then they have some changes to the game in the seasons, and then from season to season it'll change a little bit more, and at the end of each season all the characters will be dumped into like the mega server for that like everyone else will be on. So people that play like season 2 of vanilla World of Warcraft, for example, they'll eventually be playing with characters that were season 1 as well, but season 1 cannot play with season 2 until they get dumped together, and then those 2 seasons cannot play with season 3 until the season 3 cycle ends. Currently it's only been season 1 because it recently for the most part came out, so we'll see exactly how everything works in the future, but I believe that is the intended purpose. But hopefully they will add the Seasons of Mastery system to the Burning Crusade Classic, so people that want to play through the Burning Crusade can do that. And for me, where I want to showcase what the game was like during the Burning Crusade, I can go ahead and do that as well, instead of just skipping over to Wrath of Lich King. The second thing that I talked a lot about is kind of like my YouTube channel. So again, today I uploaded my Guild Wars 2 fishing guide, and it's kind of like showing when I recorded this, I guess. But I am very happy with that guide, and I'm glad that it is up, and I created some extra resources alongside it for the guide and did a bunch of promoting and stuff on different Discords and subreddits, and I'm super happy with it, and I'm glad of the attention that it's getting, and I hope it gets more attention in the future. But that's kind of an example of I just do what I want. I play through what I want, I enjoy what I want, and I produce what content I want to do on this YouTube channel. It is like first and foremost a hobby for me, and I kind of just want to do what brings happiness to me and what I enjoy doing, and I am very appreciative that people watch it, because it makes me extra happy and it feels extra worthwhile when people watch that content. So when it comes to like Let's Plays, I am happy that people kind of just like enjoy the content. A good number of people watch my World of Warcraft Let's Play. Significantly more watch my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play, which is okay, but I do notice that like my World of Warcraft Let's Play does get quite a bit of views and occasionally get some comments, and I absolutely appreciate the fact that people are watching that. And like even with like a minimal amount of people watching, it makes me so happy that anyone is honestly watching this. And like first and foremost, I created the content like for myself because it's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy kind of like Let's Playing and exploring games and talking about them and like sharing them to the world, whether or not people actually listen to it. But first and foremost, it's just something I want to do, and people watching it is a little bit of an extra bonus on top of that, which I am very happy of. And of course, I would like to grow for a variety of different reasons. Like my biggest goal is to get like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but of course like growing and bigger would always like be nice, but it's not like something that like I am very focusing on and like I'm intently going for, and it's not something that like I'm really expecting. But it would be nice in the sense that like it allows my content to be exposed to more and more people, and that more and more people get to like enjoy that content like the people watching it right now are hopefully enjoying as well. And that's really only something that can happen when you grow. And then likewise with like all the guides that I produce, it is kind of like same thing, where like I want to grow so that more people see the content so that they can be helped out in different ways that they need. So like with my fishing guide that I uploaded today, people that are interested in fishing in Guild Wars 2 or like don't really know what's going on can hopefully watch that guide and have a better understanding of the system and how it works, and will be more educated after watching that guide. And then maybe some people will also just like enjoy watching through that video and will find like enrichment and happiness in like a different way than people that like explicitly need help with it. But still, like being able to grow allows more and more people to be exposed to that, to be helped, and to like just watch a video for an hour and enjoy it and have their life improved a little bit in a way. And I'm glad that that's happening. And of course, as I've said like 4 times now, growth allows that to happen more. But again, as I've said like 5 times now, not really something I'm super focused on. As I've said also 5 times now, like I am focused first and foremost on just enjoying this like hobby that I do and kind of just having fun. And any comments and any likes, any views is just a bonus side effect of that hobby. And of course, as I've said, I enjoy it quite a bit. So those 2 topics were the 2 biggest topics that I talked about in the like 25 minutes or whatever. This is the first time that that's happened in this series, and it's really kind of interesting that it actually did happen. I had like my stuff muted because I was working on that fishing video and I didn't want any audio coming in. But of course I could just mute the audio in my recording software, and normally I'm very vigilant about it. And I actually thought to like double check that it was actually like recording, but like, and also it's like flashing at me if it is recording audio. However, I did not bother to look until I went to mute myself because I was going to do a montage of like killing, which is something that I haven't done in quite a while actually, and I might do at some point in the future. I kind of like stopped enjoying it as much. Like I kind of enjoyed it and it was a little bit of like a fun thing to do. Wow, he attacked me from super far away, but I've not done it recently, and I was planning on doing it in this episode, and I might still do it this episode, but it's not something I am going to be doing right now. But I guess that's kind of like something I need to be extra careful about in the future, like just in case. It's like a solemn reminder of like a simple mistake that like I didn't pay too much attention to, but it's like very easy to happen to people, and it's like not that big of a deal, but still unfortunate that it happened. But let's go ahead and continue working on our quests here. So I kind of talked about that lighthouse over there when we got there. So one very cool thing about that lighthouse that unfortunately is not on this video, but it made a boat horn sound at the lighthouse that I had never heard before, and maybe when we go back we could hear it again. I think it happened at the top of the hour or like a minute after. Not entirely sure what procced that sound, but that's really cool that it happened. So Captain Grayson at the lighthouse washed up on shore because the family was hiding away from Murlocs that were kind of like invading the lighthouse, and they ran away to protection, and the lighthouse wasn't burning, so Captain Grayson's ship crashed on the coast of Westfall and he died and became a ghost. And when he was a ghost, the family like returned to the lighthouse because the Murlocs left, but then the Murlocs eventually came back to the lighthouse and killed the family that was there, which is very, very unfortunate to have happened. It's like a very sad and like tragic story of that family in that lighthouse. And we are here, we are getting oil so we can let the lighthouse burn more, and we are clearing away all of the Murlocs here, and we killed Old Murkai way over there, and we are going to head north here and then work our way down the coast to be able to finish up these quests. So let's go ahead and head straight north so we can clear out some Murloc coast runners. Oh, there's the Defiance messenger. We just happen to run upon him here. Here we are at the northern beaches of Westfall, and we can see there's a crashed ship here and a ton of Murlocs around. So let's go ahead and find some coast runners to fight so we can clear out this coast a little bit more for Captain Grayson and for anyone that happens to crash upon the shores of Westfall, so that they do not suffer the same fate as many others have. And here we have our first coast runner. They are very low level, so this quest is kind of taking us back to a lower level area to fight Murlocs, as well as fighting Murlocs that are our level range. So you can just see here at the very beginning of Westfall on the coast, the Murlocs are like level 10 to 12, and as we get all the way to the end, they're like 19 and 20. It's kind of just like a linear path down the coast where the level eventually increases higher and higher and higher until we get to the max level area in the zone. So we fought Coast Runners a very long time ago now. I guess it feels like a long time ago. But we are back here fighting them again. And we have this minor oracle here that pulled alongside that Coast Runner. It's actually dealing a decent amount of damage to me. So we'll go ahead and take care of this oracle quick as well. But right now, as I am recording this, and this is again outing myself a little bit about like when exactly I'm recording this in relation to like when I'm uploading it, but it is currently the middle of the Wrath of Lich King pre-patch, and I have been enjoying it so much, and I am so happy that it is introduced to the game because it allows me to re-explore and like live through my favorite content era of the game. And like I legitimately enjoy playing through that content era. Like it's not like just nostalgia for me. Like I played it quite a bit, and I like legitimately enjoy the content of it that like exists in the game, and I'm glad that I get to play it permanently now. Compared to like if a Cataclysm Classic were to release, I would probably play through Cataclysm if I'm being honest. Not as much as I would through like Wrath of Lich King and Burning Crusade and like Vanilla, but I would definitely still play through it. But it would only be for nostalgia purposes because I did grow up playing Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria as well when I eventually quit in Mist of Pandaria. So playing through it would be like a nice nostalgia trip for me. But I wouldn't play it nearly as much as I would Wrath of Lich King because I legitimately do not enjoy the content itself as much. Nostalgia can only take like my interest in like a game so far, and like I'll play it a little bit and like I'll enjoy it. But if I don't enjoy like the content of it, I'm not going to play it a lot. So, like, I'll play through some Cataclysm probably, but I will mostly be focused on playing through Wrath of Lich King and doing what I love in Wrath of Lich King with like achievements and questing and all of that stuff. But I am so happy that it is here, and I'm so happy that I get to play through it all again and experience it all again and be able to experience it forever as long as I continue playing WoW. Which, of course, with my history of playing WoW, where I've quit a couple times now, and I have returned eventually, I guess, with my longest break being like what, 5-6 years, but that was for the release of Classic. But I might quit one day, and my one reminder and like one remaining experience of the game will be really reliving it through this YouTube series that I am doing, where I'm exploring everything in the game and can look upon it in the future. But I just finished fighting the Coast Runners here, so we can go ahead and head back south so we can fight warriors and tide hunters. So let's go ahead and run that direction. We are getting very close to level 20, which is a very exciting level. I feel like every like 20th level in like the original game is very exciting to reach. So level 20, level 40, and level 60. So we are almost at that first like milestone there, I guess. And I'm excited to reach level 20 so we can unlock all the new skills that we will unlock, and we will be able to like kind of go and survive in like a bunch of new zones now that we're on level 20. But once we get like a little bit higher, we'll definitely be able to survive those zones much easier than we were to right now. These Murlocs here are a little threatening. I just realized Frost Armor and Arcane Intellect right now, so let's go ahead and restore all of that. I've used a lot of mana this episode so far. But once we reach level 20, we will get a new skill from our talents, actually. I think this is the first skill we will unlock from the talents. So that is super exciting, and we will be able to explore that a little bit. And then we can head back to Stormwind to unlock a few new super exciting abilities and skills from our trainer as well. So we have that to look forward to at some point in this episode. Let's go ahead and pull these Murlocs here. This Nether's probably going to come as well. Yep. Let's go ahead and just Frost Nova them, and I'll take care of this warrior first and then turn my attention over to the Nether. And this other Nether might actually pull as well because it's getting pretty close here. Let's see if this Nether decides to walk in. Probably will. But, let's go ahead and finish that one off, and then we can go ahead and turn our attention to this last one here. And almost done with this group. I can go ahead, loot them, and then just heal up a little bit, and then head back down the coast to find our next warrior. One more hit, there we go. I am less than a warrior away to level 20, so we will see what happens when we get there. Let's go ahead and drink, and I'll conjure some more mana and find another warrior. We are almost done doing all the quests in Westfall, and similar to Elven Forest, we will return to Westfall in the future to do more stuff here with quests from other zones. But as far as like quests and like the quest hubs here in Westfall, we are almost done with it, and we will be moving on to like the next zone of the game. Of course, we still have quite a bit of stuff to do in Red Ridge as well, so we will be spending some time there doing quests as well. So it will get us nice and a little bit into our 20s by the time we finish these quests. But after we finish Westfall and after we finish the good part of Red Ridge, we will be able to go into Duskwood, which we will probably poke our heads into a little bit before we start questing there long term. But it is a level 20 to 30 zone, so it covers like those 10 levels, similar to like how Elven Forest is a level 1 to 10 zones. And there's Brack here, so here is a unique enemy that we can go ahead and fight. You can see it has a silver like dragon icon around it, which means it's unique. So it is a very like special character that will give us a lot of experience and potentially have a very good item drop, and it has a very long respawn timer. So we are very lucky here to be fighting Brack, and we got 280 experience there, and we got Privateer's Cape, and it is better than what we have equipped, so let's go ahead and equip that. And we have a nice black cape from Brack here, which is really cool. But as I was saying, Duskwood is like a very cool zone, and I'm super excited to be able to explore it. And Duskwood has several quest chains that are very long quest chains and very cool quest chains, and I'm excited to explore it as well. But something that is also super exciting about Duskwood is that it is like the last zone in the Kingdom of Stormwind. So we have 4 zones of Elven Forest, of Westfall, Red Ridge Mountains, and then Duskwood. So once we complete Duskwood, we are kind of done with our homeland here of the Stormwind area. So we will be moving on to a bunch of different areas after Duskwood, and while we are finishing up Duskwood as well. So we've already visited Loch Modan. We will be going back to the Dwarven areas, and we will be going north of Loch Modan, and we will, this Nether or Hunter really wants to come over here. And we will be going south of Duskwood, we will be going east of Duskwood, and we will potentially be going for a little bit to the other continent of Kalimdor, and we will be able to explore all of that. I might have to use my healing potion here. And actually, I do not, because killing that hunter leveled me up, so let's go ahead and finish this crawler off. That is very cool that that happened there, because we were just about to die, and I get to save my healing potion for another day. Let's go ahead and fight this warrior. And I instantly regret doing that. Very immense amount. So let's run. I'm running. Goodbye. I will come back and I will fight these people later. Let's go ahead and see if we can sneak over here. It's a pretty low level area right here, and we ran away. But we leveled up to level 20, so we can go ahead and unlock our... Oh, I never spent ice talent point there in ice shards. So now we can unlock Cold Snap, which is a new ability that is, when activated, the spell finishes the cooldown on all of your frost spells. So that is a really cool ability that is not going to be super worthwhile right now, because we do not have a ton of frost spells unlocked right now actually. But as we progress a little bit and we get more and more cooler frost spells, that will come in really handy, because we can just use that skill and then it will refresh the cooldown on all of the skills that we've used, and you can go ahead and use them again as long as you have the mana to use them. And we have 2 warriors here. So this is the warrior that I pulled with my shoot ability here with my wand, and accidentally pulled that group. He patrolled all the way over here. So let's go ahead and finish this warrior up, and then we will be done with this part of the quest. So all we have left is 4 Tide Hunters that we have to defeat, which is closer down south, so we can go ahead and do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and loot all this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and try to sneak past everything here and get closer to where the Tide Hunters spawn. So I might try to sneak up on the cliff a little bit and kind of just follow the top of the cliff and then drop down back onto the beach. Here we have Gold Coast Quarry, so it comes out into the beach here, but if you were to run up there, it would be like the Defias and the Nose and the quarry there that we could fight, and then we could also continue heading east to get to the road as well. Let's go ahead and follow the coastline for now. So I'm going to work my way up here and then head farther south. So I am keeping an eye out for Tide Hunters just in case they spawn this far north, but I don't believe they do. But just in case there is one here, I'll go ahead and pull it. But it seems to be mostly oracles right here that we need to fight, but we already fought all the oracles that we needed to. So let's go ahead and continue heading farther south. I did not enjoy fighting the oracles. They were definitely on the more challenging side of things, and I'm glad that we can move on past them. The Tide Hunters aren't too big of a challenge for us. It was really just the oracles resisted a ton of our spells, which is unfortunate. But the Tide Hunters are more susceptible to what we have to throw at them. But now we are getting closer here to where the Tide Hunters spawn. We can see Old Murkai has respawned there, even though we technically on lore killed him. He respawned mechanically. And we have 2 Tide Hunters right there that we could fight if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. There is a Tide Hunter over there on the edge of the water, so let's go ahead and sneak around all these Murlocs here and go ahead and fight this Tide Hunter. And hopefully not have to fight anything else, because these Murlocs are definitely challenging. But we are now a little bit stronger than when we were here last time, so it might be a little bit of a better time. But let's get this Tide Hunter first. And let's keep an eye on Old Murkai, because he has a decently long path that he follows down here on the coast. So he'll be patrolling a bunch of this area, which is very concerning, and we don't want to deal with them again. So let's go ahead and just be extra careful. There are 2 Tide Hunters here, and this will get us to 6 out of 7, so we'll just have to fight one more. Hopefully, I don't think Old Murkai is going to do a hard right here, so we just have to be a little bit careful, and we'll get decently far down as we fight these 2 Tide Hunters, so I won't be too concerned about it. Let's go ahead and open this. I've been opening all the clams we've been getting, and I've gotten quite a bit of clam meat here. I'm just gonna eat and drink a little bit real quick. And it's a difference in the game is in vanilla WoW, clams stacked in stacks of 1, so we've seen that I've been getting like this here, the small barnacle clam. It's just been consuming 1 inventory slot, and I have to activate it to get the clam meat out of it. But in Wrath of the Lich King, clams stack in stacks of 20, I believe, so you don't have to worry as much about inventory space. But in vanilla WoW and in the Burning Crusade, you have to be really careful when you're fighting Murlocs or any other enemy that drops a bunch of clams, because it might use up your inventory space really quickly, and you're going to have to delete them or consume them all to get the clam out so that the clam can stack, and you'll get rid of the clam meat will stack, and you can get rid of the clams out of your inventory. But we need just 1 more Murloc for all the quests we've been doing here, so let's go ahead and see if we can find one here. I'm kind of checking the water here, and I don't see any Tide Hunters in the water, so I might just peek a little bit and then head further south. So there's 1 Tide Hunter all the way over there. I'm looking into the water directly in front of us right now. I don't see too many things. Yeah, I don't see anything. So let's go ahead and kind of just swim around the side here, ignoring all the oracles, and let's try to pull this Tide Hunter. This Tide Hunter is pretty lonely right now, so we should be able to just pull him straight away, and we can cast a bunch of frost bullets and deal with him very quickly, very easily. Let's go ahead and use my wand ability here. So we unlocked the wand last episode actually, and I haven't talked about it yet, but I've been using it quite a bit now. And let's go ahead and just fire blast. But when I started the episode, I was on 1 wand skill, so I've been having to train that up quite a bit. But we are done with these 3 quests now, so let's go ahead and head over here to the Lighthouse and turn in these quests. And then I think I'll just Hearthstone back to Sentinel Hill, and we can kind of figure out what we want to do next afterwards. Here we are back at the Lighthouse, and we can just come up on the dock here and let's talk to Grayson and see if he has anything cool for us to have. So we can give him the oil, and I'll go ahead and just take the healing potions, I think. And then we can just get a little bit of silver here, and then we can get this wand here if we wanted. Not as good as we have. We could get this torch, but I would prefer the staff. And then the shield is not useful for us, but I'll go ahead and grab that to sell. And that is all the quests that we've had to complete down here. I do have the Redridge Goulash quest that we can go ahead and do as well, but I will hearth back to Sentinel Hill, and I'll go ahead and turn in the People's Militia quest, and then we can see what we want to do next. So we are definitely very close to being done with Westfall here. Not too much left. And you can see we have quests on Duskwood starting to show up, but they're definitely a little bit on the higher end as far as levels go. So we will be going back to Redridge probably, but I might make a stop in Stormwind here. We have another wand we can get, but I'll go ahead and just take this two-handed sword because it should sell for a decent amount of money. And I might be forgetting something, but I think there is another quest here that spawns in Westfall for us to do with the gnolls, but it might be at a different point in the game. Not entirely sure. It might have been added in a future expansion and they just added it to pad out like the leveling experience a tiny bit. But are these boots good? These boots are really good. Wow, I almost sold them. Let's go ahead and equip them and sell these farmer boots. So that quest might not actually be in this version of the game. This is I think we put this cape on actually. I would just go ahead and keep that cape. Let's go ahead and just sell the rest of the stuff. Is this good? Oh my gosh. No, it's not as good. Okay. And then let's go ahead and just sell all of this stuff here. I might actually hold on to this clam meat. Let's go ahead and buy it back. And I'll go ahead and put it up here to store for now alongside this wool cloth. And I'll go ahead and I'll use the scroll of stamina real quick. And then I'll sell these Murglewalk eyes. And I'll just hold on to that real quick.
See you
later. It seems to be, as far as questing in Westfall goes, we are done here, which is very cool. However, I do want to explore a couple of areas that we have not seen yet. So just like we did in Nowen Forest where we uncovered all the map art, let's go ahead and really quickly just finish up this area here for uncovering the map art. And we can go ahead and fight some of the greater Gore-Tusk in this area for our Redridge Goulash quest. So for this quest, we'll have gotten some spider meat from Loch Modan, and we'll have gotten some Gore-Tusk meat from Westfall, as well as gathering the rest of everything that we needed from Redridge Mountains as it was intended. So here's a Gore-Tusk, and we can see there's over here on our left, it's called the Dead Acre. So this is just like another farm here in Westfall that seems to be like mostly dead, and there's some device in it, and nothing too much going on there. I think there is a quest there for like a future quest line, or it's a class quest or something. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see in the future, I guess. Let's go ahead and fight this Gore-Tusk, see if he'll give us the snout as well. And it's just a basic Gore-Tusk over there, that's not too big of a deal. And see if he will drop the snout now. See, and he did, so we went ahead and we just finished that quest there as well for the great Gore-Tusk snouts that we needed for Redridge Goulash. So that part is over. This People's Militia Protector right here just fought that greater Flesh Ripper, which is nice. We can see way over there to the east is a bridge structure that leads into Duskwood, which is really cool. And then over here, we just uncovered a little bit, but there is this tower here, and I'll go ahead and run up to it to see if it will give us a tower name. But it is for rogue characters, for a very cool quest for them that we will not be exploring because we are mages, not rogues, but sometime we might be exploring through here. And we can see here there are some very high level river gnolls here that I thought might be a little bit of a questing area, but doesn't seem to be the case. And we can see here alongside the river here, and on the other side is Duskwood. So we kind of see this river came all the way through Owen Forest, and it goes out into Stranglethorn Vale as well. So very cool. Let's go ahead, and we can see malformed Defias drone. So there's like an undead there, which is very interesting. Venture Cauldron. So there are a bunch of just like undead right here. Let's go ahead and peek our head in here. And it looks like the tower doesn't have a name, but let's go ahead and get out of here, and maybe one day we will be back here. And Defias Tower Patroller, very concerning, level 23. I'm just going to run. I got the point, I'm leaving. Let's go ahead and run. And I think I saw over there's like a little bit of a farmstead there, but it doesn't show up on the map. But we have now uncovered all of the map art for Westfall. So what was it, episode 5, we came here in Westfall. We explored our first area here at the Jansenstead and like this pumpkin farm here and Saudine's farm. But now we have uncovered everything in episode 13, and this is what Westfall looks like, fully uncovered with pretty much every quest in the zone completed. This is just a repeatable turn-in quest to get more Thunder Brew if we wanted, but we don't need more. We got the one we needed for our quest. So now I'm just going to go ahead and run back to Sentinel Hill, and we will say goodbye to Red Ridge for now, or we will say goodbye to Westfall for now, and we will head back to Red Ridge because we have a ton of stuff to do here. But first, let's make a stop in Stormwind City. Goodbye Sentinel Hill, and hello Stormwind City. So there are a couple of things for me to do here in Stormwind. So the first thing I'm going to do is head to my mage trainer so we can learn some new stuff. So let's go ahead and go do that. So here we are back to our mage trainer, and let's go ahead and spend all of the gold that we have.
Hello.
So let's see what we have. We have a ton of stuff here. So first and foremost, I want to pick up a blink. So this is a teleport ability that would teleport me 20 yards forward. And I want to get this conjure water, and I want to get evocation here, which is going to increase mana regeneration by 1500% for 8 seconds. So it's going to be really nice in combat to be able to use that. So let's go ahead and see here. We have this mana shield. I'll go ahead and learn it as well. I'll go ahead and learn polymorph. We use it quite a bit. You know what? I'll go ahead and learn detect magic there. And I think I will skip out on arcane muscles and arcane explosion. But I said, so Fire Ward absorbs 165 fire damage. I don't think that's going to be super important. I'm going to go ahead and ignore Flame Strike. But let's go ahead and learn some Fireball stuff here. And then let's check Frost. So we got Blizzard here, which I'm actually going to learn. So this is a nice AoE ability. And then I will learn Frost Armor and then Frostbolt. So I just spent like 2.5 gold, something like that. But now we can go ahead and put all of our new skills on our skill bar. So what did we learn? We learned a new conjure water here, which is super exciting, and I will go ahead and just delete that water there, and I will just learn or conjure some of this water here. So it's 835 mana over 24 seconds. Very, very nice. Okay, next we learned evocation, so I'll go ahead and throw this on my skill bar. I'll just throw it, I don't know, right here. And then I learned polymorph rank 2. Let's go ahead and throw that. And then I learned mana shield, so this will absorb some physical damage, which is nice. And then I learned detect magic, so detects beneficial magic effects on the target for 2 minutes, which I don't think is actually super important, but I went ahead and learned it anyways. And I learned this really cool skill here called blink, so we can go ahead and put blink on our skill bar here, and this is what it does. So we just teleported 20 yards forward. Really cool. It is the first movement enhancing thing we have gotten in this series, so we now have that, and I'm super happy. It'll slowly but surely help us get to places a little bit faster. And then I think that's everything in Arcane I learned. In Fireball, I just went and learned a new rank of Fireball, and then at Frost we got some really cool stuff. So we got Blizzard here, which is an AoE ability. And then I think we learned a new Frost Armor. And then we also learned a new Frostbolt. So I might reorganize this a little bit here actually. So I might swap Polymorph over there. I might put Cold Snap here and then that ability there. And I feel pretty good about my skills here right now. But let's go ahead and talk to Brother Kristoff here, which is a quest that I wanted to pick up. So he says, I'm giving a speech on the fortitude of the spirit, and I'd like to recite passages from a particular book on metallurgy, The Stresses of Iron. A copy of this book should be in the Royal Library within Stormwind Keep. Can you retrieve it for me? If so, then may the blessings of the light be with you. The Royal Library is very large, but the head librarian, Milton Sheaf, knows each shelf like it was his own son. Speak to him, he'll retrieve the book for you. So let's go ahead and head towards Stormwind Keep, and we can go ahead and pick up this book that Brother Kristoff needs. Here we are entering Stormwind Keep for the first time, and if we were to go straight ahead, we would be able to see the throne room. However, we are not going to do that today. We're going to go ahead and take a left right here, and we are going to head to the Stormwind Library. So over here, we have a nice cool courtyard up here, and there are also a couple of rooms here, and on the right here is the library. The straight ahead might be the library as well. But over there on the far left, there is a door there that's closed that might lead to somewhere. Let's go ahead and head into here to this library here that we can see there are a ton of bookshelves here, and it is the Royal Library. Let's find Milton Chief here, who is the head librarian.
You need something?
And he says, metallurgy? Ah yes, we have many books on the subject, and are happy to aid Brother Christoph with his speech. Now, which particular book was it the good brother needed? And then he says, The Stresses of Iron. Yes, I know the book. Quite a good one, written by the dwarven miner Markov Blagen. A few decades ago, he spent most of his time deep in the mountains of Casmodan digging ore. Smart fellow. But where was I? Oh yes, The Stresses of Iron. I'm afraid the book was moved to the Northshire Abbey. The caretaker of the Abbey's library, Brother Paxton, wanted to make a copy of the book for his own shelves, but that was months ago. I wonder why it's taking him so long. So we can head back to the very start of our series here, to Northshire Abbey, and we can go ahead and talk to Brother Paxton there, and we can retrieve the book from him, because it is not here in the Stormwind Library. Just really quickly, we can go ahead and poke our heads over here, and we can see what is in this room here. So it seems here, this is the Royal Gallery, so there are a ton of different statues in here that we can see. So here we have Lady Mara Fordragon, so head clearest of Stormwind, patron of the refugees who fled to Lodron after the First War. She was the bright mother of our future, may she rest in the light. Here we have Grand Admiral Dalen Proudmoore, so commander of the Alliance fleets, friend of Stormwind. So this is Jaina Proudmoore's father and a very important character from Warcraft 3. Here we have Keen Lane the First of the House of Ren. So Keen Lane 1 of the House of Ren, Liege Lord of Stormwind, defender of Azeroth. Keen Lane, I believe this was the Keen Lane that was assassinated during Warcraft 1 from an assassin. Here we have the statue of a high elf, it seems to be, with nothing really determining who it is. Could be a Alaria Windrunner potentially. And then here we have another statue of a wizard. Not entirely sure who this could be. It could be Antonidas potentially, or maybe it could be Archmage Khadgar. Not entirely sure. And here we have Lady Denna Kennedy, just looking at this art here on the wall. Very cool art, but nothing for us to get from her. So let's go ahead and head to Northshire Abbey. Here we are back at Northshire, and we can go ahead and head into Northshire Abbey and talk to Brother Paxton. We have not been here since episode 1, I believe, and we're now level 20 here in episode 13, so we are much more experienced than we were here. And I wonder, maybe we could kill this young wolf with one ability, and we did. We just casted one fire blast there and just killed him. That is how much higher level we are now. It used to take like 3 frostbolts, but now just the click of a button and it is dead. So let's go ahead and head into the abbey. And here is Brother Paxton, the librarian, and he says, Mr. Sheaf is wondering where his book is. Well, this is a tad embarrassing. I have the book, but I'm still making my copy and I'm not quite ready to give the original up. So he says, I've been meaning to finish my copy of The Stresses of Iron, but, well, you see, I make my own ink for the books I copy. It's my own recipe. It doesn't run or smear, and it dries very quickly. Unfortunately, it dries too quickly. My last batch dried up before I could finish the copying job, and I haven't had the chance to make more ink. To make more, I need Rethman iron ore from the Red Ridge Mountains. Foreman Oslo and Lakeshire is my usual supplier, so we can go ahead and talk to Foreman Oslo. So let's go ahead and head back to Stormwind so we can head to Red Ridge, but let's make a quick pit stop on the way there. So here we are on our journey back to Red Ridge Mountains, and I just wanted to take a moment to come over here to this Wizard's Tower that we looked at several episodes ago, and this time we're actually going to go inside of it instead of just peeking on the little outside of it and looking at all these gnomes around here. But today we are going to go inside instead of just looking at it. So let's go ahead and walk through the front door here. We have this nice little ramp up into here, and we can see there's a bunch of books and a bunch more gnomes and some staircases up, or ramps up kind of, and we can go ahead and take the ramps and bridges and navigate our way up to the top of this tower, because there is a quest up here for us to pick up. So let's go ahead and just come around a little bit more. These Wizard's Towers are really cool structures because they're kind of like confusing, I guess, in a way, where there's like a bunch of like different paths and stuff. There we see a clothier. There we see a merchant there, which is really cool. And now we are at the top. There's an artisan enchanter here and arcane goods merchant. And then there's Theocritus here, the mage of Tower Azora. So my rival Morganth is a vicious mage of great power who lives in the Tower of Elgalar in Red Ridge. I've developed a means of spying on him, the Eye of Azora, and can now view him from afar. But to study his thoughts, I require further aid. If you are willing, Then take my glyph of Azora to the Tower of Elgalar. Place it upon the lion statue near the tower. When this is done, the power of Azora will grant visions of Morgaunt's future plans. So we can go ahead and accept this quest, and then we can go ahead and head back down to the tower a little bit faster than the way up. And then let's go ahead and just continue running towards Redridge. So while we are running back towards Lakeshire, I wanted to take a moment to kind of explore something interesting about the game, which is this chat command called /played, which we can type in, and it'll show us how long we have been playing this character. So it shows us total time played and time played of this level. So for total time played, when I type that command, we have been playing this character for 15 hours, 49 minutes, and 30 seconds. And in that time, I reached level 20. And since the time that I have been level 20, I have played for 40 minutes and 47 seconds. So I am quite a bit of ways into the game now, level 20, almost 16 hours in, and most of that has been shared with you all. Of course, not every single second, because I'm cutting here and there, and I'm also logged in a little bit before recording and logged in a little bit after recording as well. But for the most part, we have been on this journey together, and we have explored everything with this character and the world of Azeroth together, and thank you for being here for that. And here we are back to Lakeshire, and it's been a little bit of time since we have been here, so we have some more quests unlocked, and we have a few quests to turn in as well. So let's go ahead and run around the town really quickly and go ahead and pick up all these quests. So here we have Blackrock Bounty, so we have a quest here to go fight some Blackrock Orcs, and I believe we have a couple of other quests as well to do with Blackrock Orcs, so we could double up with that when we go and do that. We have another quest here to turn in and to pick up, so let's go ahead and talk to Marshal Maris, who has another Blackrock quest, it looks like, to fight more Blackrock Orcs. I see a theme developing here with the next little bit of our story in Redridge. Here we have Foreman Oslo, which we can go ahead and ask him about ink supplies for our Northshire Abbey. And he says that we can get Rethben ore from Rethben Caverns, except Redridge Gnolls are now living there, so we can go there and deal with that and collect some ore as well. Let's go ahead and hop over here, and let's go talk to Magistrate Solomon about our Messenger to Westfall quest, because he is looking for aid from the other cities here in the Kingdom of Stormwind, because the guards of Stormwind are not helping out. So let's go ahead and tell him about Westfall and see what he wants to do next. So he says, I do say, this is not good at all. I did not realize the Stoutmantle situation was not unlike ours here in Lakeshire. What action is so important that it calls the Stormwind army away from its people? Bah, I should not ponder aloud. Here, messenger, accept these coins in exchange for your service to the township. I might call upon you again. And we now have this quest called Messenger to Darkshire. So I require your assistance once again. I have written to Lord Ebonlock requesting that he sends his trained guards, the Night Watch, to help with Lakeshire's defense. It is imperative this message makes it to him swiftly. You must exercise extreme caution. Ebonlock is the mayor of Darkshire in the heart of Duskwood. Do not stray from the roads. So, Duskwood is a brand new zone, and Darkshire is a town that we have not been to yet. So when we decide to go do that quest, we will be exploring a brand new area of the road that we have not explored yet. Let's come over here. We have two more quests to pick up. So we have this one, another Murloc quest here. And we can go ahead and fight some Murlocs over by the lake, and we could double that up with our fishing quest there of selling fish, where we could either fish up the spotted sunfish or we could fight Murlocs to get the sunfish. And then we have one additional quest to pick up here, over here by the herbalism trainer. We have Marty Jane Rose. Hello. And we can fight Belly Grub, which is a boar that is trampling her flowers and fields, and we can go ahead and take care of that menace. Kind of reminds me of a certain quest in Elven Forest that we did several episodes ago. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and head into the inn here. Currently, our Hearthstone is set to Sentinel Hill, and I'm going to go ahead and change it over here to Lakeshire, because I believe we are mostly done with Westfall and questing in Westfall. So it is now good that we have our Hearthstone set to Lakeshire, where we're going to be spending a lot more time around in the future and the next episode. But as far as this episode goes, I'm going to call it good here. I hope you all had a good time watching this episode. I had a very good time playing through it. If you want to support me, feel free to subscribe, and you can also like and comment. And I hope you all have a good day. I hope you take care of yourselves, drink some water, check your posture, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.